My name is Claire. I'm 33, and for most of my life, I thought love stories only existed between pages of books. I work in a small bookshop tucked away on Rue Amélie, one of those Paris streets where time feels slower and the air always smells faintly of coffee and rain. Every morning, I'd open the shutters, dust off the covers, and lose myself in words written by people who believed in forever. I used to envy them, all those authors who seemed to understand love so effortlessly. Then, one afternoon, she walked in. Elisa. She was looking for a book on French poetry, her accent soft but uncertain. I offered help, and she smiled, that kind of smile that makes you forget what you were about to say. Her hair was damp from the rain, and tiny droplets clung to her eyelashes. I remember thinking she looked like someone the city had created just for itself, fleeting and impossible to forget. We talked for an hour that felt like 10 minutes. She was from Barcelona, in Paris for 2 weeks, writing a travel piece about hidden corners of the city. She said, "Maybe I'll write about this shop. It feels like a story already." I laughed. "Then make it a happy one." The next day she came back, and the next. Sometimes she bought a book, sometimes she didn't. But always, she stayed long enough for us to share coffee and conversation. She started bringing her laptop, sitting in the corner near the window, writing while I worked. The sight of her there, focused, serene, sunlight touching her hair, became my favorite part of every day. One evening, as I closed the shop, she said, "You know, you look at people the same way you look at books, like you're searching for the part that'll stay with you." Her words hit something deep inside me. I wanted to say something, anything, but I didn't. Instead, I just smiled and turned off the lights. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing her voice, her laughter, the quiet certainty of her presence. Something in me was waking up, something I hadn't felt in years. The next day, she came earlier than usual. The sky was still gray, the kind of Paris morning that smells like coffee and rain-soaked stone. She brought croissants, warm and flaky, wrapped in a napkin. "Breakfast," she said. "Writers need readers, and readers need sugar." We sat by the window as the city slowly came alive. Outside, umbrellas bloomed like flowers. Inside, it felt like the world had stopped moving. She read a few lines from the book she'd been writing, a travel piece that somehow sounded like poetry. When she finished, I said quietly, "It's not really about Paris, is it?" She smiled, eyes soft. "No, it's about you." The words hung between us, fragile, real. I felt the air change. She reached across the table, her fingers brushing mine. It was such a small touch, but it sent a wave of warmth through me. We didn't move for a while. The shop around us was silent, only the soft ticking of the clock and the faint hum of rain outside. Then she said, "I don't know what happens next. I just know I don't want this to end." And for the first time in years, I didn't think about what was safe or reasonable. I thought about what felt alive. I leaned in, just slightly, just enough, and our lips met. The kiss was soft, trembling, like both of us were afraid it might vanish if we breathed too hard. Her hand found mine, our fingers laced together, and for a moment, I forgot the world outside existed. When we pulled apart, she laughed softly. "So, happy ending?" I shook my head, smiling. "No, just a beautiful beginning." That night, we walked through Montmartre, lights flickering, street musicians playing slow songs about love and loss. She carried her camera, taking pictures of reflections, strangers, rooftops, and sometimes me. She said she liked how I looked when I wasn't pretending to be fine. Weeks passed. She kept writing. I kept waiting for her to leave. But she didn't, not yet. And one morning, She handed me a small notebook. On the cover, written in her handwriting, "To Claire, the woman who made me believe in stories again." I opened it later, alone, and found the last line of her piece. "Sometimes love doesn't arrive like thunder. It whispers through the cracks of an ordinary day. And suddenly, you realize it's been there all along." I still work in that bookshop, but now, every time the doorbell rings, I glance up, just in case it's her, coming back for another chapter.